Did you know that approximately 30% of people in long-term romantic relationships have been deceived by a partner who lies at least once a week? Even more startling, recent research identifies 3 distinct liar profiles, one of them driven by dark personality traits that use deception as a weapon of control. If you've ever wondered why a charming partner can suddenly become a master of falsehoods, stay tuned. This video uncovers the science behind that behavior and gives you tools to protect yourself. The core mechanism is pathological lying, also called pseudologia fantastica, a compulsive habit of fabricating stories to manipulate reality. Psychologists differentiate 3 liar types: the insecure liar, lies to avoid conflict; the opportunistic liar, lies for personal gain; and the dark trait liar, lies to dominate and control. The latter often scores high on the dark triad: Machiavellianism, strategic manipulation, narcissism, excessive self-importance, and psychopathy, lack of empathy. Studies show that dark trait liars use deception strategically to create dependency and undermine a partner's sense of reality. Neuroimaging reveals that chronic liars show heightened activity in the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, the brain region that rates risk and reward, while the amygdala, the fear processing center, is dampened. This pattern means the liar perceives less anxiety about being caught and receives a dopamine rush similar to a gambler's high when the story succeeds. For the victim, repeated exposure to these lies triggers chronic stress, keeping the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the body's stress system, in overdrive, which erodes confidence and emotional stability. You might notice they embellish mundane events with grand details, then later forget key facts. They will often shift blame quickly after being challenged, saying, "You're overreacting, that never happened." Watch for sudden mood swings that correspond with the success or failure of a lie: euphoria when the story is believed, irritability when doubts arise. Another red flag: they frequently request proof or surveillance, claiming it's to keep us honest, while actually gathering leverage for future manipulation. Your brain's social learning system rewards trust and cohesion. Evolution wired us to give people the benefit of the doubt, especially when they appear charismatic. Cognitive bias, called the halo effect, assuming good qualities in someone who excels in one area, makes even intelligent individuals overlook inconsistencies. Moreover, the liar's intermittent reinforcement, sporadic truth mixed with lies, creates a variable ratio schedule that releases dopamine, making the victim chase the occasional honesty like a gambler chasing a win. 1. Minor contradictions that are quickly dismissed. 2. Unexplained gaps in their story that they fill with elaborate details. 3. Frequent love bombing followed by sudden criticism when you question them. 4. They demand proof of your actions while refusing to provide their own. 5. Their emotional state swings dramatically depending on whether you accept or reject their narrative. 6. They isolate you from friends who might challenge their version of events. Each step escalates the control they wield. At the root, dark trait liars are driven by a need for dominance and a fragile self-image. Their deception serves as a protective armor, allowing them to rewrite reality to match their grandiose self-concept. Attachment research shows that early childhood abuse, especially during adolescence, creates neural patterns that favor manipulative survival strategies. In adulthood, they replay those patterns, using lies to keep partners dependent, thereby avoiding the vulnerability they feared as children. Researchers recommend the reality check method. After a conversation, write down exactly what was said, then compare it to any later contradictions. Use the 4-second pause, delay your response for 4 seconds to assess emotional reactions before replying. Set firm boundaries, declare that repeated falsehoods will result in limited contact. Finally, build a support network. Independent friends can validate your recollections and break the isolation cycle that liars rely on. The SciPost article on liar types, July 4, 2026, surveyed 1,200 couples and identified the 3 categories described earlier. Their findings align with earlier work in the Journal of Personality Disorders, which linked high dark triad scores to frequent deception. Additionally, a molecular psychiatry study, July 4, 2026, demonstrated that trauma occurring in adolescence reshapes the prefrontal amygdala circuitry, making individuals more prone to manipulative behaviors later in life. These converging lines of evidence underscore the biological and experiential roots of pathological lying. Consider Maya, a 32-year-old teacher. Her partner, Alex, initially showered her with compliments and gifts, classic love bombing. Within months, Alex began telling Maya that he had forgotten to pay bills, then claimed she was too sensitive when she asked for receipts. Maya's friends noticed Alex's pattern of exaggerating stories to gain sympathy. Using the reality check method, Maya documented each conversation, confronted the inconsistencies, and set a boundary that any further falsehood would end the relationship. Within weeks, Alex's manipulative behavior collapsed, and Maya regained emotional clarity. Understanding the science behind narcissistic lying turns confusion into control. You now have concrete signs and proven strategies to safeguard yourself. If this helped you, share it with someone who needs to recognize the pattern. Follow for daily psychology insights that protect your mental health.